Thank you, Chandra and Prashant, for that insightful session. It's clear that smart automation is no longer a nice to have. It's a strategic advantage in modern recruitment. Now we move into a space that's just as crucial, learning and development. In this session, Novac Technologies will walk us through how organizations are reimagining learning, training, and growth by creating smarter, more immersive experiences for both learners and businesses. Leading this session are two experts from Novac, Siddhesh Borkar, Senior Manager and Head of E-Learning Services, a seasoned business leader driving scalable digital learning strategies, and Syed Zathiq, Manager representing Immers, Novac's immersive learning wing, where storytelling, technology, and AI come together to elevate learning outcomes. Together, they'll show us how Novac is helping organizations upskill faster, smarter, and deeper. Siddhesh, Syed, and Shefta, over to you.
Now that was a very amazing introduction by our AI avatar. Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to today's another Power Pack session. I'm Shefta and I'm excited to host this conversation where today we'll be exploring how digital learning is evolving over the period of time, not just in what we learn, but how we experience it. So to kick off things, let's just start. For all our listeners who might be hearing about you for the first time, Siddhesh, help us understand what's Novac all about.
Sure. Thank you, Shefta, for the opportunity. Before I proceed with my response, I need to confirm once if I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Perfect. So, Shefta, at the core, Novac is a digital transformation catalyst, right? In fact, we empower organizations with the cutting edge learning solutions, right? So from conventional e-learning to immersive technologies like VR and some AI-based simulations, right? We offer all of those. In fact, our core competency is to deal with content. Okay, we beautify the content, we digitize the content in such a way that it becomes consumable for the target audience, right? So you can think of us as a bridge between today's training needs and tomorrow's learning experiences. So everything in the format of conventional e-learning, the way we used to support the classroom training sessions, and now the very advanced versions of game-based learnings as well as immersive tech, we cater all of those.
Amazing, yeah. Let's rewind a bit. Can you just walk us through what Novac offers in terms of traditional offline training and conventional e-learning?
Absolutely, Shefta. See, in fact, we have built a strong foundation in conventional learning and development, right? We offer support. First of all, I'll go in a categoric way. The number one, category is about the classroom trainings, wherein we support the classroom training exercise by creating those trainings, trainers manual, the participants guide, and as well as the instructor manuals and all of that. Okay. So, that's the support which we provide when it comes to the conventional way of looking at things. And also in the e-learning aspect, we create all those interactive e-learning modules and engaging e-learning modules based on the global e-learning standards. So we adhere to the global e-learning standards and accordingly we digitize the content. So whether it's a basic compliance course, or it's a role specific soft skills content or any functional or technical content, we make sure it is engaging, it is scalable, and it aligns with the learner needs. And how do we do this? Because we have this amazing set of resources available with Novac who can understand the crux of the content which the client share with us. Okay, and accordingly we digitize that and we create those online e-learning content for the client.
Now I'm curious, do you have any cool samples of e-learning content? Maybe something to showcase the different levels of interactivity that you spoke? If you could just give us a few demonstration of those samples.
We sure do, Shweta. So, we have certain, e-learning module samples, which are there with us, right? I'll showcase you certain, learning reels, which are there with us because as I rightly mentioned, when we talk about any sort of e-learning interactivity, there are certain levels.
Correct.
So primarily there are three levels. That is level 1, level 2, and level 3. And there is also something else, a little advanced known as game-based learning, right? Now, higher the level, better the interactivity, better the engagement. That's how it is. So I'll showcase you the levels. Okay, allow me to share my screen, and I will showcase you, the videos one after the other, and accordingly, I'll let how do we classify this into different levels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So what I'm trying to showcase you right now, is the level 1 sample, Shefta, as I rightly mentioned. So let me, tell you one thing. Level 1 e-learning interactivity, it's a basic advanced version of your PowerPoint presentation, right? So the moment when the client share the content with us, that may be any content, be it functional, technical, behavioral, we ask a simple question to the client, how do you want to digitize it, whether it's a kind of a need to know content or a must know kind of a content. If the client is saying that it's a need to know kind of a content, we just want our participants to go through this content, but we really don't want them to have, complete hands-on kind of experience or a complete muscle memory kind of experience. We ask them, you better go for either level 1 or level 2, because that will suffice the purpose, right? And there, we generally pitch in this level 1 kind of a. So, I'd like to showcase. So in this particular sample, Shefta, as you rightly seen, uh, the difference between the simple PowerPoint and this particular sample is that you have a voiceover. Okay, I mean, this was just to show you that's the reason you were not able to hear the voiceover, but you can add the human voiceover or the AI voiceover in the background. Okay. Apart from that, you get this arrangement of click to pop up or click to reveal arrangement, right? So that it's not just a plain PDF and you just rotating the screen. You have certain interactivities, while going through this content. And moreover, our instructional designers, they will remove the redundancies in that pure PPTs and PDF. They'll align the content well. They'll structure this content in a better way, in a better sequence, and accordingly they digitize this module. So this was level 1. If I show you something, which is level 2 kind of e-learning content, I can say that is 25% advanced than that of level 1. Okay. So if I showcase you level 2 kind of e-learning interactivity, the only difference is that here we add, certain animated characters. There are certain static animated characters which are a part of this learning modules. Right. So basically, in level 2 e-learning interactivity, as I rightly mentioned, the static animated characters gets added as in the format of a mascots, right? You can have a static scenarios there. We create the story in such a way. For instance, if there is any complex situation in the content, we explain that with the help of the scenarios. But the scenarios are static. Your characters may not move. Okay, there won't be any hand movement or lip sync in the characters. There will be thought bubbles coming out. Okay, so that's how the level 2 kind of e-learning interactivity works. Nowadays, many organizations, they also ask for a software application training. Okay, now software application training is all about, the CRMs or the LMS or any sort of HRMS platforms which they're using. They want to train their participants on the walkthrough of that particular platform, how to operate that platform step by step. Even that falls into, the level two kind of e-learning content. If you, in case if you have seen the sample, well, you must have seen there is one Axis Bank sample, which you must have seen. It's a portal a walkthrough, for Axis Bank, which we did. So the way we do this level two e-learning interactivity, then there is one more advanced level, which is level three e-learning interactivity, Shefta. Level three learning interactivity is quite engaging. The difference in level three e-learning interactivity is that, here you get to see, certain dynamic characters. Okay, the characters are hand drawn. Okay, and this particular illustrative characters are hand drawn based on the ecosystem of the organization, right? For instance, if I'm doing it for, I'll give an live example of the projects which we're already doing. In case if I'm doing it for, the big giants of oil and energy like IOCL. Okay, so the characters which will be part of the IOCL project will represent IOCL very well. Their uniforms or the kind of the dress code which they follow, right? So the complete character will be as per the ethnicity and style and the culture which they follow, right? And these characters are moving. There will be hand movements. There will be lip sync, and this content becomes a bit more engaging with some game-based assessments in between as well. So the difference in L1, L2, and L3 content is that in L3 content, the end users are quite, into the content, right? So I'm trying to showcase you the showreel for L3, which you really experience. So that was a level three content. In fact, the most known kind of a content. If you want to really train someone on technical content, or if you really want to develop something like an induction onboarding modules or the courses, which is the primary stage of an employee entering in a particular corporate, they can definitely follow level three learning interactivity. And apart from that, there is one more e-learning interactivity, which is known as the gamified learning or a game-based learning, which we generally say. Now, the importance of game-based learning is that, it's a complete game. In the entire game, the participants will be playing game one after other. Okay, there will be certain levels which they follow, and in the process, the learnings will come out of it. Okay. Now, there are certain corporates who really want to do this game-based learning kind of approach just to create the excitement amongst the learners, especially the Gen Z categories and all of those who really want to because of the short span of attentions and in order to have completely cut down the boredom. Okay, they generally opt for the game-based or the gamified learning, right? So a sample to showcase is right in front of the screen for gamified learning. Complete gamification application. Shefta has rightly mentioned, level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. And as we classify the learning, be it need to know and must know kind of a thing. If there is a need to know kind of a learning, it can definitely fall under level 1 and level 2. But if it is a must known kind of a learning, if you really want your participants to be stick to the screen and to understand the content very well, because it is damn crucial, for their existence in the organization, they should opt for level 3 and the game based learning is generally the strategy which we follow.
It's really
Right.
engaging. Yeah.
So those were the 4 samples, which I thought of presenting, Shifta.
So Siddhesh, there's a recent buzzword that's going on in the entire L&D ecosystem that we hear a lot is microlearning. And a lot of I've seen a lot of news and everywhere people use the term very often. So what's the big deal in that, and why should organizations really care? What's the differentiator?
That's a great question, Chef. In fact, I'll tell you, micro learning, it's not just a buzzword, it's a complete behavioral shift. Okay. And in my game-based learning sample, I've given a hint for that. In a world of short span of attention, or what we generally say hampered attention of the users, or there are the busy schedules which they have, or delivering content. So in case if you have a complete busy or occupied schedule, what we prefer is to deliver that content in a bite-sized manner. Okay. And the complete focus is on higher retention. There's a better engagement, but in a short span, right? So nowadays, many organizations have started asking us about this, because while if you create a module with a duration of 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, okay, 3 hours is definitely out of the story now, but even 1 or 2 hours kind of a module, even in that 1 or 2 hours of a content, we see to it that we give a strategic break or strategic pause to that content in such a way that the consumption goes in a bite-sized manner or in a micro-learning manner. Okay, because I'll give an example. If there's a module on a compliance thing, okay, for instance, if there's a module on cybersecurity, or if there's a module on any code of conduct and all of that, if I ask you to go through a complete half-an-hour content, you might feel like, oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, however engaging the content, but you might not like that. But at the same time, if I give a strategic break to that content, that every topic or a subtopic is divided into that 5 minutes or 3 minutes nuggets, okay, you will be satisfied after every 3 or 5 minutes nugget that, okay, fine, there is a sense of achievement by me, okay. And in the process, you might go through the entire lot of 2 to 3 hours kind of a content, okay. So that's the reason, micro learning is very important nowadays. We definitely follow that strategy, okay. Micro learning with assessment and without assessments, both the things are in existence, and we do it, as per the choice and as per the need of our customers. That's how it is.
Nice. So I had a question from my own end that if a company wants a whole package, okay, let's say the content and platform, can Novac deliver both?
Oh, absolutely, Shweta, because we just don't stop on the content creation aspect, or custom content, because as I rightly given the introduction of our organization, we are a digital transformation catalyst, right? So right from the content creation, I'm talking about the base content creation. We have a great suite of subject matter experts who can work on the content, any content that may be in space, okay, that may be technical, functional, behavioral. We can work on the base content as well. We can get a sign off on that. We can digitize that content, create those e-learning modules based on the e-learning interactivities, as you rightly mentioned. And on top of that, we can deploy that particular content on a learning platform. So we have an amazing learning platform in place known as Axel LMS that can definitely allow, you allow the customers, to deploy their e-learning content on that particular platform, right? Because a content is a flesh, and that particular flesh needs a skeleton that is nothing but a platform. Okay, that's how it is. So this particular content can get deployed on the learning platform. And one more thing, since you're talking about a comprehensive package, we just don't limit ourselves on custom e-learning. We also have a ready to use content library available, right? So for instance, if a client really do not wants to invest time in creating content or in customizing the same, they sometimes ask me a question that, Siddhesh, we have this competency framework available with us. How are you going to guide us? Do you have some content which is readily available, so that I can simply just plug that in my learning platform and play it? So in that plug and play format, we also have an e-learning library, which has 300 plus hours of content available with us. Amazing set of modules classified into professional behavioral skills, soft skills, leadership series, mindfulness, and so forth and so on. Okay. So, this particular content really helps the client. For those clients who really want this ready-to-use content, we do some, fundamental white labeling, and we deploy that content for them. So be it, content creation, be it customizing the e-learning content as per their expectations, be it ready-to-use content library, and all of this getting deployed on the learning platform. We give a complete package. So, that complete analytics of learning journey, it forms under one roof. And that's what we offer, when it comes to Novac.
Now this gets interesting. If e-learning is already so robust, like you mentioned, right? Why are businesses today moving towards the immersive learning experiences? What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Definitely, I'll tell you, that's the reason, I also have my colleague Syed here with us in this webinar. And before I hand over it to Syed, I would like to tell you one thing. See, uh, immersive learning is where, retention, it meets the realism, right? Because the digital content is all about the retention, right? You are consuming the content, but the moment if you want to experience something, if you want to get into the reality, immersive learning plays a role, right? So e-learning touch, it will teach you what to do, but immersive tech like AR, VR, or it enables you to actually experience it, right? Whether it is handling any customer crisis, or if you want to operate a machine, or you want to manage a fire drill, all of that happens in a controlled environment, in a safe, you get to have that safe and hands-on experience when it comes to immersive learning. I'll take a pause here, Shefta, because I have my colleague, Syed, also in this webinar. He would like to definitely, shed some light on immersive learning, because that's how his experience is all about. He's our SME on immersive learning. Okay, so Syed, over to you for a moment. You can shed some light on the immersive tech for this question.
Sure, Siddhesh. Thanks for the introduction as well, Siddhesh. And to answer your question, Shefta. So when it comes to an immersive tech, any company who wants to grow, who wants to be the stay ahead in the competitiveness, would be increasing the sales, marketing efforts, and the employee workforce, right? And to do that. In a screen. So the level 1, level 2, all the e-learning contents will be happening over the screen. When they way ahead of the experiences where they would like to give an unforgettable experiences towards to the product, or it can be towards to the brand, or it can be the workforce, right? So when that comes, that's where the immersive technology plays a significant role over here, right? So segments, let's say if a company wanted to utilize this technology for the marketing effort, so we can create a solutions, curate data, what exactly their target audience is, how they wanted to evolve using these technologies, what is the region that they would like to cover it, whether they would like to go for an AR, VR, umbrella of the sub technologies comes under the immersive tech. So immersive tech is a wide range of technologies shortened in the single name of the single name called immersive, right? So if you're taken that umbrella, we have a segment of technologies like AR, VR, metaverse, mixed reality, projection mapping, anamorphic video. Even now we are actually combining the immersive technologies along with the AI as well. So that actually takes the company's experiences to the next level.
Talking about AI, Syed, I've seen a press. We've heard a lot about Migoto AI. So just wanted to know what is it and how it's shaping things up in the e-learning world, or maybe the learning world.
Okay. To answer this, I would like to share one video samples. So I would like the audience to visualize that. And post that, I'll give an explanation of how this Migoto plays a very crucial role in organization. All right?
Sure. Yeah.
So allow me to share my screen.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
It's coming up.
How about now?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
So Migoto is a combination of, it's an AI bot, which, whatever the subject knowledge that we are feeding into this particular AI, so this AI can understand all those things, and this AI will interact with either the customer or either the internal employee based on the subject knowledge that we've been incorporated to this particular system. Right now, here in this use case, so we have actually rebooted the complete installation of our HR policies towards this particular AI, and we train them this AI to act as HR professional. So in a company, so we have a good amount of people to work in, right? So they might have a lot of issues faces with different category of the problems, right? It can be a boss, it can be a gender bias, anything. So whomever wanted to speak to openly to the HR, so this is a kind of a pocket HR, which AI can be acted as a pocket HR. So with a single click, he can able to interact with them and convey their thoughts, and the AI will be expressively, answer those questions with the right, inputs. So that makes this so special, right? And it considers the emotions as well, what exactly the context is. So based on the context, so this AI will be coordinated with the real-time people. So this is one of the use cases that we implemented here.
Yes, one last question. There's often a gender-biased jokes which are cracked upon individuals in one of the teams. So they take it very, and they discuss and giggle and have a lot of jokes, cracking a lot of jokes, but many a times it becomes gender-based. And so I want to know if this could be also a scenario if a particular gender is getting offended because of these jokes. So can this lead to a serious scenario?
Gender-biased jokes, even if intended as lighthearted, can create a hostile work environment and constitute harassment if they are offensive or discriminatory to a particular. On the other hand, is focused.
So what it actually does is now we have shaped this AI, or when we are speaking in English, this English will be very depends on the nations as well. So however we give jargons, we give passes, this will be completely understand about the context. So how exactly that I'm speaking with you can easily interact with this to an AI to get the right output from it.
Choose and why.
And this can be act as an evaluator. This can be even act as a sales professional as well. So a customer can straight away.
I'm really sorry to hear that you faced such a tough experience.
A customer can straight away with an AI sales agent to speak about what exactly the product that prefers. So what is the choice of preferences? So based on that, this AI can be able to select a product for him as per his preference. That actually shorten their confusions as well and increase the purchasing confidence of him. That helps the organization towards the sales, towards the HR, towards the evaluator, towards the trainer. So now, this kind of a product makes an organization efforts very easy, so that the most of the time AI will be. So what are the things the human is not at all needed. So AI take care of the work on behalf of the organization and take the right outputs. And also at the other end, either it can be an internal employee or either it can be a customers can 100% fully satisfied with the services from the organizations as well. So that is the role that Migoto is playing in this market now.
Yes, really very interesting to know about the Migoto platform. So Syed, what kind of industries do you typically work with when it comes to Immerse or Migoto kind of solutions?
So it fits in all the industries. Either it can be a manufacturing, either it can be retail, either it can be a hospitality. We understand the needs here, what exactly they would like to promote. I will give some samples. So I will share once again. So you will see. All right, we have implemented many solutions across to the different industries, even paramedical, hospitals. And showcase that. So you'll get to know what kind of the use case that we have solved for them, right? And what is the output, the benefits that they have gained it from them as well.
Sure.
So this is a kind of a lengthy video. Will take literally somewhere around 9 minutes, but I will make it short.
Yep.
So this is a complete, VR package that can be utilized by any organization. So this is one use cases. Many retail stores now it is in the form of the web, right? Even if you're going to an Amazon, so it's a kind of a on-screen purchase it is there. So to make it more customized, we can create a virtual showroom for the brands and in a VR, so they can able to have the real-time feelings of they're visiting the stores, visualizing the products, and they can able to procure it from their VR store itself. So this is one better use cases, and the other use cases in terms of handling the very sensitive products. Now, this is the use cases that we develop for one of the drone company. So the drone is very costly to train their employee. So to feeding it to the crops, to feeding the to feed the solutions to the crops. So it is to train the employee. We can able to train them with the high, paid high investment drones, because if small mistakes leads to a huge impact over there, right? And the cost of repairing it is too much. So what happens here? We replicated the complete scenario of training how to utilize the drone over the VR itself. So the people will be landing it from here, and then once they have trained well, once they have achieved the passing criteria, they can able to utilize the real-time drone. So this saves the huge amount of money in terms of maintenance aspects. And now this is one of the use cases that we can showcase the machinery, how it works. So it will be very helpful for the sales process to the organization, so that customer can get to know how the machinery works, what are the steps involved, what is the procedure that machine will be take over. So it makes the purchasing decision quick, and also the customer will get to know the knowledge of the machines. Right? And this is another use cases where can be utilized in many banks and the financial entity where the data is playing a major role. So if you're visualizing the data in form of an Excel sheets, we don't know where exactly that we are lagging. But in the form of a 3D, we know where exactly that we are lagging, right? What is the things that needs to be corrected. So in this way, they'll get to know their what is the actual problem and how they can able to solve it. By brainstorming, they can able to come on the discussion. And this is one of the applications that we have crafted for the the flight safety simulators. How to what are the signals that needs to be used when the flight is been landing. There are many use cases with such kind of this is there. This was the manufacturing, training, and this is for the visualization. So how I need to design the stalls, or it can be an event. What other things needs to be recorded. So before we design it into the physical time, so we can able to visually design it and can get to know how exactly it looks. And simple, we just need to replicate into the once it has been finalized, we just need to replicate it to the real time. So in this way, we can save an enormous amount of money as well. Right, which case is manufacturing, what are the how to operate in the shop floor, what are the steps needs to be carried over. So the segment is wise, use case is also wise. This is for the real estate, showcasing the property, and again the trade parts of product visualization. And this is one of the use cases where we can actually visualize how the paint will be looking like in walls, paint, wallpaper, textures. One of the leading paint industry has been adapted this particular solutions and been doing continuous business with them for last 2 years. Right. So as I said, the use case is enormous and it fits for any industries. We just find out what is the problem that we need to solve, and it's a huge, right. So we need to choose the right technologies which solves their problem and implement it and monitor it to get your way.
I must say all the solutions can be adopted very easily across various industries.
Sales, marketing, or manufacturing in terms of what?
Correct. So I have $1 million question, if I may ask. How do you measure ROI when it comes to traditional learning versus immersive learning?
Sure. Shefta, I'll take this question, because see, when you talk about traditional learning, ROI, it often comes from the completion rates, so the e-learning modules which we develop, right? So what are the completion rates? How many learners have gone through the content? The assessments, which are there, the post-assessment, how much is score out of it? Okay, and the feedback, which is also feedback mechanism is also there in the e-learning modules. But with the immersive tech, of course, if we go a bit further, there is We track the engagement time, so tracking the engagement time in a particular simulation, or the scenario or simulation accuracy which the learner exhibits, the response patterns, and even the skill application scores, right? So it's sort of a ROI with the depth and data, both the things get catered there. Okay, and that's how it is.
Very well answered. Let's go to the core now. What would you say is Novac's biggest differentiator, or maybe your standard USP?
Okay. When it comes to an USP, so we have a good amount of, we believe in our people here, the resources that we handle it, right? And in terms of the finding out the right solutions, we are not like, okay, they would like to have they need a, let's say if a client needs an e-learning, okay, they need an e-learning, we just do it. We won't come under that particular protocol. We sit with them, we ideate with them, we consult with them, how exactly it is going to be helpful for this particular client. Okay, what is the impact that he wants to create, right? So we take all this input from the client, and then we find out the right solutions for to them and deliver it to them, and then we'll keep on engaging with them to find out whether this solution actually helps him or not, right? So that's where also helpful for to find out the ROI as well. So this becomes the major USP for the Novac Shefta.
And if you had to sum up Novac in just one line, what would that powerful sentence be?
So see, Shefta, when it comes to Novac, adopting consultative approach, we have deepened our roots, not just in the world of content digitization, but also in the world of immersive tech, and completely in the sphere of L&D arm, as well as in the marketing arm, because our solutions goes like that. That's the reason we generally say that Novac is where imagination meets innovation, right? To build a future of learning, and that to today. So that's a quick definition, what I can frame for Novac.
Yeah, very well said. I have a lot of questions in the box. I'm just asking maybe the three most asked questions. If you could just answer. The most asked question was, do you support multi-language or region-specific localization for your content?
Of course, because as we rightly said, the way we digitize the content, that may be in a conventional way or in the immersive tech, we recognize the importance of regional and the linguistic relevance for the geographies. So we do localize it. Whatever content is coming our way, it can get localized into any regional languages, any international languages. We have that capability. We in fact have both the ways of looking at it. We also have human voiceovers as well as AI voiceovers. Okay, based on the preference of the client, we generally do it. So different languages, different dialects, or different cultural context, we take care of all of that. Okay, and that's how we deliver the final output.
The next question is, are your VR-based training modules accessible for remote or mobile learners who might not have a VR headset, physical VR headset?
Okay, so for this particular technology, suppose if a person doesn't have a VR headset with them, we use a web technology. We have a WebEx solutions as well. So what other things can be done over a VR headset that can be done over the browser itself? They just need to, we have the same interaction in terms of controlling. They can able to move it, they move the users. The interaction will be in the form of the keyboards and the mouse. That can be done. Or else, we do have now the cardboard VR where we can able to fit the mobile in a VR cardboard box, and then they can get the experiences. So such kind of the use cases, if the customers wanted to have a specific use case, they want like to go for a mobile-based cardboard VR or WebEx based stuff. So this is doable.
Thank you. And the last one is, can startups or mid-sized companies afford your solutions, or is it more suited for large enterprises?
Great. Shefta, our solution is applicable for everyone, right? So we work with organizations of all sizes, right? And our solutions are quite scalable and quite flexible, right? So even if there are any startups or any mid-sized kind of a businesses, we offer those modular pricing. We can do this phased rollouts. Okay, so there will be phases different. We also do the semester-wise rollouts in that case, and the tailored packages which we generally offer. It ensures that you get that high impact out of the learning, and without even the heavy upfront investments, right? So that's how it is, because for us, as I rightly mentioned, we always see to it that with our core competency, we create an impact in different organizations, and our core competency is beautifying that content and making that content consumable for the target audience. That's how it is. So whether you are just beginning your digital learning journey, or you're looking to scale from your existing strategies, we can align a solution that can best fit the budgets of the corporates and the growth trajectory. That's how it is.
So thank you, Siddhesh and Syed. With this, we've come to an end of our webinar. Huge thanks to both of you. Your demos were truly insightful, and it has showed us what modern learning and development will look like in the future. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for spending your time with us. If you're rethinking about your learning initiatives, I think Novac just gave us a solid place to start. So thank you everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.